So first you'll need to grab your fully trussed and twined pork loin roast. You can get this pre-done at your butcher or local supermarket, but if it isn't done, you're going to need to fully twine it up yourself and cut the slits evenly across the skin. You can also use a meat hole puncture, which does a perfect job of this. Then you want to grab some olive oil and spread it on nice and evenly using a rubber glove or some paper towel. Give it a nice even coat all the way across the skin. Then you want to grab some granulated table salt or even kosher salt's fine and give a really decent even coat all the way across the skin. Once you've got a really solid coat of salt all the way across the skin, you want to rub it into those cracks there because that's what's going to allow our crackling to form. You've got to give it a nice even coat inside those slits. Now this pork roast is ready to get onto our grill. So to get our grill lit, we're going to fill our chimney starter full of charcoal briquettes. Then we're going to light up our all natural fire lighters here. Now that these are lit, we're going to get this chimney straight on top of these fire lighters, and in about 15 to 20 minutes, these coals are going to be red hot and ashed over, so we'll come back shortly to check them. Okay, so our chimney's fully lit, our coals are red hot and ashed over, so we're going to pour them straight into this charcoal basket here. And the reason for the charcoal baskets being over to one side is because we're cooking indirectly, so we're going to put the meat on the other side. I've also got some cherry wood chunks here that I'm going to place on top of these hot coals, and that's going to give our pork a nice, sweet, subtle, smoky flavour. Because cherry wood is a softer fruit wood and not a dense, rough hardwood, it's going to catch light pretty quick. Then we're going to get our grill grate on, and then we're going to get our dome lid on, with the damper facing to the opposite side of the fire, fully open to allow oxygen flow. So when using smoking woods on a kettle grill, you always want to have the damper fully open to the opposite side of where the fire is. To get a nice clean burn, you need oxygen flow to get through to produce a clean fire. Doing this, the smoke funnels up and out through the damper here, and you get a nice clean burn. So for this cook, we're aiming for around 350 Fahrenheit. So as you can see, we're not too far away. In about 5 minutes, we should be up to temp. Okay, so our grill's up to temp, time to get the food on. Now this may seem odd, but I'm using a method I call the rock method. Now you can use a rib rack, a roast rack, a chicken stand, or even a beer can, whatever you want. Basically the principle's all the same. To get the pork loin roast to stand up on its side, so that the skin facing side is up on an incline facing the fire. By doing this, we're going to ensure that we get a really nice crackling skin that will form in roughly the first half of this cook. Now it may not be perfect, but it is a method that I find does work most of the time. So we'll come back and check on it in about half an hour or so. So it's been about 30 minutes, and as you can see, we've done a nice job of forming a very nice crackling here. Looking good so far. Now whilst our aim in this video hasn't been to showcase a crackling cook, more the roast loin cook itself, if you do find that your crackling isn't forming perfect, you can do this little method where you just quickly give it a quick sear, evenly roll it around like this on top of the coals, and that can help give your crackling a little bit of a boost sometimes. But be real cute about it because you can really easily burn your crackle, and you don't want that. So now that our crackle's formed, we will let this thing cook indirectly, slowly, for the next hour and a half to 2 hours, and then we'll come back and check it. It'll be ready to rest, slice, and serve. Okay, so we've hit a nice medium well temperature of 150 Fahrenheit internal. We've rested for 15 minutes, and now we're ready to carve. Alrighty, time for the first carve. And that is going through quite easily. Look at that, perfect crackling. Perfectly done looking pork loin in the middle there. Super juicy, super tender. This thing looks awesome. And as always, you got to start the taste test by trying out the crackle. And it is a good crackle. And as for the pork itself, well, an absolutely awesome result. So there you have it, Pitmasters. Pork loin roast on a kettle style grill. Cheers.